Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl, here to bring you another reading for Taurus. This is a reading for the person most on your mind. Taurus, I thank you, Spirit, for helping me. Thank you, Spirit, for keeping me, protecting me, keeping me safe. For keeping the collective safe. That's interesting. Helping me, protecting me, helping the collective and protecting the collective. Thank you, Spirit. Taurus, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, but most of all for showing up. And this card just separated. We have the Knight of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. So being an independent and being productive in your independence. This card just pulled away too. We have the Eight of Wands. So travel, working, providing, nurturing, caring, and wanting to discuss over a distance, having conversation over distance, traveling, determined to be independent, following what you want to do. Ten of Wands, coming to the end of a cycle. Seven of Pentacles, waiting patiently, and the Ace of Pentacles to have a new beginning come in. Taurus, the Star card is showing, and the King of Chalices, King of Cups. So it's really following what you want and having that determination and being committed to the cause, whatever that focus is that you are, whatever that focus is on your future. You're very determined, and you're seeking that independence. You want to travel. Taurus, you're busy, quite busy. Maybe dealing with a water sign, or it could just be your dedication to what you want to do because you're following your heart's desire. So we have a few cards showing up here. Five of Swords, King of Pentacles, Seven of Cups with the Wild Hunt. So this would be the Tower. Again, it's chaos, it's change, it's really seeking out what you want, being focused on changing and having choice, many choices. Being responsible, choosing to be responsible, and thinking, or maybe overthinking what you want to do or how you want to get what you want. Taurus. I'm using the Green Witch Tarot by Ann Moura for the spread. It's 9 cards. They're chosen at random for the person most on your mind. And I have the Oracle deck is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And the deck splits 3 ways here. We have the Two of Cups. So again, that commitment, that dedication with the King of Cups brings it into 3 of Cups. So could be you're reconciling, or you're dealing with a third party, depending on the relationship. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, where we had the Five of Wands. So it's that deliberation and feeling, or doing, it could be feeling, it's that sense of, do I belong, do I fit? Really try to work it through, because we had that overthinking processing. Now we have this sense of not feeling like you belong somewhere. You want to change, you want to move. that movement with the Eight of Wands feels like you're out of place. Could be that you're feeling out of place, that you want to change. This is where you want to go long distance or travel. With the Eight of Wands coming back, feeling that you need to move away from where you are or move into a commitment with the person most on your mind. That Wisdom of Oracle, what I did was I cut the deck and I flipped one portion into reverse. So I would take two cards, one for you and one for the person most on your mind. And those two cards would represent the energy that you and the person most on your mind are going through and help give a little more depth to the reading according to your situation. But I also brought in, well, I brought back the Lover's Oracle. And that has no author. It seems to be unknown. But this is to gauge the thoughts of the person most on your mind. So let's start with the situation that you're in with you and the person most on your mind. And then this is how you're dealing with that situation. And this is how they are. See how they line up. And this is how Spirit guides you to deal with the situation. This is how you take that advice. This is how they do. I feel like they're not too close to the edge. Just bring them down this way. Okay. And then we have what would be the outcome if you do follow Spirit's advice, and this is how you would react to that. Now, of course, you could change the way you feel about how the reading is going, and you decide if you want to continue in the path that Spirit is offering to deal with the person most on your mind, or you can just not. And if you choose not to follow, well, then the outcome will change. Here we see the situation in itself is the Eight of Cups. So moving on and moving away from, again, that long distance travel with the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands that showed up. Feeling like you don't belong somewhere, you want to move away, Taurus. Could be the person most on your mind wants to move along too, or maybe you want to. The situation is either to go or to come back. You seem to feel it's a burden. Five of Wands, deliberation, or you're thinking about it, or you're discussing, or you're contemplating what is best move to make, if it's better to move on or stay in the situation, or in some cases, do you want to come back into a relationship with the person most on your mind? That really depends on your situation, because here it's a deliberation. It's deciding which way to go, what to do, if even to communicate with the person most on your mind. It really depends on your situation. Here we see the Star card coming back, and they are focused. They have a plan, and they want to see it come to fruition. They want to keep moving forward. So maybe they want to go on their own, or they may be looking toward their destiny and trying to figure it out. Could be a little bit of a confused state, but then again, they're focused, so they're working through that confusion. Maybe they are the ones that want to go. Here's the advice, and it says the Four of Wands here. So Spirit is saying to take things to a higher level and really put your feet on the ground, as it were, in your deliberation, because here it would become the Nine of Wands, and that's where there's a trust factor, where you may not be trusting either your own feelings or the person most on your mind, depending on your situation. Maybe you're feeling that they may be wanting to leave, or you may be contemplating going back into a relationship. Again, it really depends on how you take this card, the Eight of Cups. And we see how you are responding to Spirit's guidance to taking a relationship to a higher level, where there's a contract of sorts, and you're wanting to take that responsibility as for being in control. Again, we saw the Queen of Pentacles at the beginning, and that is a sense of caring and nurturing in the feminine form, and here we see what would be the Emperor in the masculine form. So it's really coming to terms with making up your mind on what you want to do, and you're leaning more towards the responsibility side of a relationship, where you're stepping up, where as the Queen you would have been more of a nurturer, and you'd allow for that space between you and the next person, wherein you could function on your own. If it is that they want to leave, you would be okay on your own. But here, in seeing the Emperor showing up, it's more of taking charge and making that decision rather than sitting on the fence, not sure which way to go. Here you're making up your mind, and Spirit is guiding this, because Four of Wands is actually taking that step forward to have a stronger commitment. They're very committed, the person most on your mind, Taurus. It's quite obvious that they see their destiny, and you seem to be included there. They're not doubting, whereas you may have been doubting earlier. They're focused. They know what they want, and they are very committed. Here we see the Page of Swords. Sorry, the Page of Wands, where a proposal is coming, whether it is you making it or they making it. They're very committed, and you're standing in that authority position where you may be the one to reach out and make that proposal. There you are, feeling that love and going down memory lane and reinforcing how you feel about the relationship is how this plays out, because you're determined, and you've decided, you've made the decision that you want to go with what you love. And here's where that proposal comes in, whether you make it or you receive it. Here we have the Four of Cups, being that this turns into the Six. So they're overcoming some form of inertia, or maybe they were waiting, and now they've come to see that a proposal is on the way, whether it is they've decided to make that proposal because they've waited long enough. They want to see something different from this relationship. And we have the King of Cups to say that there is a sixth, seventh cup here. I'm not seeing any more cups, well, on their side anyway. Here they're very determined, and they're very loyal. They're very committed to the commitment in itself. They're committed to having a relationship. They want to make that offer. They want to come to you and propose in some cases, because they want to see something different. Now, if it is that you are going to stand for that proposal and offer, well, they're very much wanting to say yes. Here we see the devil, so there's a obsession here. Both of you are wanting this relationship as much as the other, and the Eight of Pentacles says that you're working hard on both sides to bring this into fruition. And of course, it is either you're coming back to each other, or having been afar apart, or you want to move along and take this relationship to that higher level, with the Queen of Pentacles being the nurturer, again coming back, with our Eight of Pentacles bringing in the Ninth Pentacle here, which would mean that there is great satisfaction and that desire to have this commitment go further. Spirit is giving you blessing to say yes, you can go to a higher level, and you should. Here we see the Nine of Wands, and that brings in again that sense of distrust, but it's a question of healing that what was that made you go away from each other, that's bringing you back now, and being able to speak, or bringing in that excitement instead of that inertia that they were going through. They may be the ones to bring in more excitement to this commitment, or at least wanting to talk about how things could be different and why things should be different. Here we see the High Priestess, and this is where we know deep down inside what needs to be said, and not everything is being revealed or has been revealed, and it is through deep contemplation that conversation is going to stir up, and the discussion is going to really go into the detail of what was, and make that clear understanding as to why what took place actually had to happen. Again, it's a question of coming back and focusing on having a deeper, stronger commitment. And both of you are willing to go that way. And of course, they want to see something different. So they're in their emotions. They're going back and remembering how it was, and wanting to bring in a serious commitment. So let's see the energy, Taurus, that is between you, and not just what's between you, but how you both fare as to the situation, where your energy is and where their energy is. Just do one more shuffle, and I'll take random cards. It's a little dark here, so I might have a little trouble reading, but we'll see, because I've put as many lights on that I could. Oh, I'm ready to cut, but I don't want to cut. I want to take them random. So this is their energy, and it is time to go. Wow. Wow. Yeah, they're bored. They want to see something different. That Four of Cups. It's in the upright, so it's really making up their mind and focusing on what they want. Let's see what your card would represent. Exchanging gifts. Oh, this is an interesting card. All right, let's take a read on time to go, because they seem to be ready to move along. 4:45, which I find that interesting, because it's either coming back or going away, and wanting to be committed to being committed to the commitment. And what is that commitment? Because there's memory here. Seventh cup could be having many choices. All right, let's see 45. Let's see what 45 has to say. They've been thinking about this. So time to go, endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. And because it's in the upright, we will take the relationship message. So it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. That doesn't mean anything is lost, although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract. It is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. So again, they're willing to, they do want something deeper, but they're willing to put their commitment on the line. And they're focused. They know what they want. All right, let's see what exchanging gifts, because that's an intriguing card, this one. 27, and it's upright. So let's see the relationship message. Love is an exchange of life force, energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you too. Love is truly yours today. So again, giving and receiving. Here you have that deliberation. Maybe you're not sure of what you want. You have to make that decision. Where you make the decision, and it will either make or break the relationship. Wanting that true love, or sharing in that love, making that proposal. I think if they don't get that offer from you, they may just walk away. All right, let's see what the thoughts of the person most on your mind would be here, Taurus. What are the thoughts of the person most on your mind for Taurus? Let's take random. Realizations, epiphanies, understandings, awakenings. So they're seeing the light. They're seeing that they need to make that choice on staying or going. They're thinking someday, somewhere, another time. Because if you're not reciprocating, they can't stay. They don't have a reason to stay. Thinking, which is so funny because it comes before this card in Oracle. They're missing you, they're craving, they're desiring, they want more, they're very committed here. Let's take one more. Spying, social network, they want to know what you're up to. All right, let's see. Trapped, stuck, tied down, captive. For some, maybe they're thinking that you are feeling trapped, tied, and stifled, or stuck. Again, take it as it resonates, Taurus. On that note, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, love and light.